Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode from the Hermitcraft server. It's been a little while since we've been on Hermitcraft, but we're here today in the Dwarven base, and we're going to be doing some work down here. Yeah, it's been like 2 weeks since I've done stuff on Hermitcraft, and I want to talk with you guys today about why that is, and kind of the future of my Hermitcraft series. But we're going to be working in this room that I've dug out. Down here we've got a little bit of like an ale room or a keg room where the dwarves work, and in here I want to make like a little feasting hall for the dwarves to actually, you know, partake in the beer and the ale that they have stored down here. So that's essentially the plan. Let me throw down a couple of resources and stuff like that. But anyway, while I'm working on this, let's talk a bit about the whole, it's been almost 2 weeks since the last Hermitcraft episode thing, because I've gotten a lot of comments. Where is Hermitcraft? Why did you quit Hermitcraft? I did not quit Hermitcraft. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. But basically what's going on is that my single-player series, Kingdoms, which is my vanilla single-player series, if you haven't watched it, I would highly encourage you to do so, because that series is really kind of my baby. But anyway, I have been feeling incredibly inspired in Kingdoms lately, okay? And I have been very uninspired and unmotivated for Hermitcraft. And it's not that, like, I don't want to play on Hermitcraft. I have probably logged into the Hermitcraft server 20 times, probably more than that. Logged in, sat there, logged back out, trying to think of an idea, trying to think of something to do. I just can't seem to come up with like a good idea. I've got like ideas for little tiny small things, like this room, for example, that we're working on right now, but nothing big. I need like a big project. And if you have an idea for something, some large project that would take me, you know, a couple weeks, a couple months, something like that, please leave me a comment and share it with me, because I'm really struggling to come up with ideas. It's kind of like, you know how like when you have, say you're in school, for example, right? And you've got homework and projects and all these different things that you're supposed to be working on, but you just got like a new game, and the only thing you can think about is that new game, and it just occupies all of your time, and even though you know you should be working on like your schoolwork, you find yourself just basically taking breaks to play the game, and that game is all you end up focusing on. It's kind of like that. Like, it's kind of hard to explain. But because I've been so motivated on Kingdoms and have so many ideas and so much inspiration in that series right now, Kingdoms has really kind of taken over the channel recently, which isn't good. Like, it's not something that I didn't intend it to be that way. It just kind of worked out that way. And I have to say that, like, the recent batch of Kingdoms episodes, ever since we started the Roman-themed village, have really been, I think, some of the best videos that I've ever made. I'm really proud of them. I think they've been fantastic. Like, we've gotten so much done. We've had so many great builds and, like, all this other kind of stuff that it's just been amazing. Like, I'm loving Kingdoms right now, and even though I know I should be still making Hermitcraft videos, and for that matter, you know, my other series too, like Future's Edge and stuff like that, I've just been so inspired in Hermitcraft that it's all I can think about. It's all I want to do, and my other series have kind of taken a back seat as a result of that, and I'm hoping to change that. I need to buckle down and just do, you know, stuff with my other series. But I want to kind of address the whole topic, because I obviously there's been a lot of comments asking where Hermitcraft is and why there hasn't been Hermitcraft in so long and all this other kind of stuff. And that's really just what it is. I've just been so inspired in Kingdoms and so uninspired in Hermitcraft lately that I just everything has kind of taken a backseat to Kingdoms, and that's kind of a thing. I also kind of want to address some other comments that I've seen on other videos. I've gotten some comments asking why I don't do more collaborations, why I haven't done more Hermitcraft collaborations, and why aren't I friends with other hermits? Which, by the way, is kind of ridiculous. I wouldn't be on the Hermitcraft server if we weren't friends. Okay, we're all friends. I don't have any problem whatsoever with any of the other hermits, and none of the other hermits have any problem with me. We're perfectly good. There's no drama. Nobody dislikes anybody. Yeah, that's not a thing, okay? But when it comes to collaborations, I definitely admit I haven't done as many collaborations as some of the other hermits, and for that matter, as many collaborations as I would like to. You guys got to realize that for the majority of Season 4, I was on active duty military orders. Like, all of last year, I was active duty United States Army, and my schedule was ridiculously tight. Like, I had a very, very unflexible schedule. Like, completely unflexible. I had a very small window of time to do stuff. Basically, I recorded, last year, I recorded pretty much everything for the whole week on weekends. With maybe I'd record like 1 or 2 videos during the week, but the vast majority of them were recorded on weekends between specific times. And the thing with Hermitcraft, you got to realize we're spread out all over the world. You know, we got some people that are in the States, like me, but then we have other people who are over in Europe, and their time zones are a thing, guys. Like, right now, when I'm recording this, it's about 7:30 in the evening, 7:45, something like that, which is kind of my normal playtime. But over in Europe, it's 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, depending on where in Europe you are. You know, it's much, much later. So just because 2 hermits might not do a lot of videos together doesn't mean that they're not friends. It doesn't mean we're not friends. It just means that we have schedules, we have lives, and we have, other things that require our time. And collaborations aren't something you can just do. Like, you can't just pop out a collaboration like it's nothing. You have to plan it in advance. You have to come up with an idea. You have to find a time that works for both of you. You have to, you know what I mean? Like, collaborations take some doing, and they're fun, don't get me wrong, but it's not, you just can't do them all the time without any sort of prior preparation. And when you have people that are in different time zones, it can be really hard to kind of do collaborations with those people just because of schedules. All of us have our own schedules and our own lives and our own normal playtimes and all that kind of stuff. And and for that matter, some of the hermits aren't even full-time YouTubers. A lot of the hermits have jobs that require their full attention. And I mean, it's been a couple months now since I worked a regular job where I wasn't a full-time YouTuber and where I wasn't, my own boss. But I think I remember relatively well. If I had been at the office working my regular full-time job where I had a boss, I don't think my boss would have really approved very much of me, playing Minecraft at work. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it would have been okay. I have to admit, I didn't try it, but I feel like that wouldn't have gone down very well, So the hermits that do have full-time jobs, they also have very specific times and windows when they play. I'm right now the only person on the server, which isn't uncommon for me to log in and be the only person on the server because my playtime isn't the same as the times for all the other hermits when they're able to play. And there's nothing wrong with that, just because certain hermits don't collaborate all the time doesn't mean that we're not friends, There's no drama to be had on the Hermitcraft server, I assure you guys. We're all friends. And we all have different senses of humor and things like that, but we get along just fine. And the collaboration thing, it's just one of those things where for the majority of last year, it just wasn't something I could do, I didn't have any sort of my schedule was just so unflexible because of the military stuff that I couldn't realistically do a lot of collabs. We still managed to get a couple in. I still did a couple collaborations like with Scar and with Cub Fan and some of the other Joe Hills. I think we did a couple collaborations, stuff like that. But it's just not something where I was able to do a lot of them. And then in November, I think it was, like late November, right before Thanksgiving in the United States, I was able to go full-time YouTube, where I was basically done with the active duty military stuff, which was great. But it's only now, even a couple months later, where my brain is kind of starting to adjust and realize that, like, I am a full-time YouTuber now. I have my own schedule that's whatever I want it to be. I can put more than, 2 hours of recording into a video and still have content. I can do all these different things. Like, I'm only just now starting to kind of wake up and realize that, I guess, which is a little weird. It's like I've known since I went full time that I have that ability now, that I have the time to actually put a lot more effort into my videos, because I will freely admit, in 2016, the content that I was making, I wasn't really that happy with it, but I had to do it in the way that I did because of the amount of time that I was required to put into my other video, or put into the military. I only had such a small window of time, and I think there were a lot of videos in 2016 that could have been a lot better if I had had more time on my hands, but I didn't. I didn't have that free time, so I had to just, kind of suck it up and put out the videos that I was putting out. And I wouldn't go back and change it. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't trade my 2016 for anything, because the fact that I was active duty military in 2016 essentially allowed me to go full-time YouTube, because my family, my wife and I, were able to, save up enough money where we have essentially like a little bit of a buffer in case YouTube goes horribly wrong for a couple months. If I hadn't been on active duty military orders in 2016, I probably would not be full-time YouTube yet. I probably would still be working a 9-to-5 job that I hated, because we wouldn't have those savings and on the financial security to do YouTube full time. See, I'm the only person on the server. But anyway, so I think now I have that time on my hands. I have the ability to be a full-time YouTuber and to really put that extra time and that extra effort into my content. But only now, a couple months later, is my brain kind of starting to actually realize that. And am I starting to actually kind of think in those terms where, there isn't enough progress in this video for it to be good, or, I didn't accomplish enough, or this build stinks, let me rebuild it, or, I've got the time to plan this out properly and have an awesome build the first time, or, stuff like that. Things like that I couldn't do before that I can now. And I'm only just now kind of starting to actually do those things. And I'm really proud of the videos that I've been putting out over the last few weeks. I think they are really some of the best videos that I've ever made, especially in Kingdoms. I think Kingdoms is incredible right now. And there have been a lot of comments on Kingdoms saying, wow, you've really stepped up your game. These are great videos. I can see that you're putting a lot more effort into your content and stuff like that. And, and it feels good to kind of see people realizing that, yeah, I am putting in that extra time into Kingdoms right now. And part of that is that I am so inspired for Kingdoms. Whereas Hermitcraft, I'm really kind of struggling to come up with ideas. There's a lot of Hermits that have already ended their season 5. There's a lot of Hermits that have stopped playing on the server because they have they've lost the inspiration or the motivation to play on the server. And that's perfectly fine, you know? I mean, Hermitcraft is not just the server, you know? It's not just the vanilla server. Hermitcraft is the group. We're a group of friends. And yes, we're known for the vanilla server, but we're not just the vanilla server. You know, I mean, we've got guys like Hypno, who really doesn't play on the vanilla server, but he's still absolutely a Hermitcraft member. You know, XB, still absolutely a Hermitcraft member, but not someone who plays on the vanilla server, just as a couple examples. You know what I mean? We're more than the vanilla server. So there's nothing wrong with those hermits who have decided to end their series or who haven't put out a Hermitcraft video in too long. But I don't want to be one of those hermits. I still want to play on the server. I want to have the motivation and the inspiration because I love playing on the Hermitcraft server. I love the Hermitcraft group. I love the server. I love flying around the mesa and seeing all the new stuff that's popping up and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just really struggling to come up with ideas of stuff to do because even though there are all sorts of little kind of side projects like Hermitrons. Let's use Hermitron as an example, right? Rendog's trading card game. It's amazing. It's super awesome. The Hermitron game is fantastic. It's super fun. But I can't do Hermitron every episode until season 4 ends. That'll get old very, very quickly. You know what I mean? I gotta have some variety. I'll still play Hermitron until season 4 ends. But I can't just do that in every video for the next 30 episodes. You know? I mean, I need something to do. I need a project. I need something to focus on and to work on. And I'm really kind of struggling to come up with some sort of a big project. Whereas in Kingdoms, where all my inspiration is right now, I have a big project. I've got a plan. I've got this whole, blueprint laid out for how the next, who knows, 50 episodes of Kingdoms might go. I know what I'm working on. I know what I'm building. I know what I'm working towards. I know what the style is. All these other kind of things. And Hermitcraft, I'm just drawing a blank. I've got ideas for a couple little tiny projects, but nothing that's gonna, you know, I can do projects that last me an episode or two, but then I'm right back to square one when that project is completed. I need to really kind of do more than just little tiny side projects. I need a big project. I need to think of something, and it needs to be something that actually, interests me. And that's kind of the problem. Like, I've thought of ideas for big projects, but nothing that actually I look at the idea and go, yeah, that would be fun. You know, I've thought of a lot of ideas for big projects that I just wouldn't really enjoy. They would just become a grind and be not fun after, a couple hours of working on them. I just wouldn't find them fun anymore. And I don't think that makes good content. I think if you're not enjoying yourself, wouldn't you guys rather see a video where I'm truly enjoying myself than a video where I'm kind of forcing it? You know what I mean? Where I'm trying really hard to have fun, but I'm basically forcing myself to play. I don't know. I don't like the idea of playing on any server or playing any game because I feel like I have to, rather than because I want to. I don't think that's a good thing. I think you should, I think the whole magic of a Let's Play series on YouTube is that we get to enjoy something together as creator and audience. We get to share in something fun and something cool together. And I think if one of us isn't having fun, if either I'm not having fun or you're not having fun, I think you really lose something. And it isn't good content, and it's not good to watch, and it just feels forced and fake, it's not I don't know. I don't like the idea of that. So that's kind of where it stands. Now, I do really need to buckle down and let other series get a little bit of spotlight time instead of just letting Kingdoms take over my channel. So I am going to be working on that over the coming weeks and in the future. I kind of let myself go a little bit when it comes to Kingdoms. Spent a little bit too much time working on Kingdoms and not enough time focusing on my other series. And I do intend to change that. But I do need your guys' help with coming up for an idea and a concept of, come on now, there we go, of some sort of project, some sort of big project and plan to work on, for the remainder of Season 4. Well, maybe for the remainder of Season 4, maybe for less time than that. It all depends on how long Season 4 continues to go for. But I mean, even a project that would last, a couple weeks, or, could be a couple months, could be a couple weeks, just something that would last longer than like an episode or two, some sort of relatively large project. Hello, Cub. Hey, I am no longer alone. That's fantastic. Awesome. Good stuff. How's it going? There we go. Man, typing and commentating at the same time. Much more difficult than you might think. Anyway, let's see. I think I want to... No, I don't like that. Let's do andesite there. And do the chiseled there. It's going well. How are you doing? Good. Okay. Recording. Then I think we'll do the same over on this side. Like so. There we go. And fill these in with chiseled as well. Right? Should be good. Yeah. Oh man, this is my chance. Think of something cool to say. Hi, YouTube. Hello, Cub fan. So, mission for you guys. Go to Cub Fan's channel and say hi from Wells's video from when he said hello to YouTube. Do it because it'll be fun. Anyway, so I think what I'm going to do, I've got kind of an idea of this room and how it should look, and I think I've pretty much finished a lot of it up. We've got little bits kind of here and there. Let's just kind of do some of these little details on the floor. But I think for the most part, this room is looking pretty good. Yeah. Wait a minute. Whatever. Anyway, guys, I'm going to finish up the floor. I'm going to probably put a roof in here and do some detail on the walls, and then I'll come back to you. All right, guys, I am back, and I am just putting the finishing touches on the room, which I think looks pretty awesome. I just want to get these these iron bars in front of the gold blocks in the wall. Look at this. Is this not nice? Went with a relatively simple ceiling design. Went with relatively simple wall designs, but I think it looks really good. Up here in the ceiling, we just did just pretty simple. We've got some slabs that kind of run across. We've got chiseled brick here, and then we've got stone brick with the andesite block in the middle. I mean, pretty easy. We've got some lights that kind of go around the floor of the room. Gold blocks. I think it looks really good. I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it. But guys, I am out of time for this episode, unfortunately. Let me know if you have an idea for what to do, what big project I should work on in Hermitcraft. Let me know. I'd love to get your comments and feedback on that. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I do appreciate it, and it really helps out my channel. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. There are links in the video description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll definitely see you next time.